The general theme is how does it feel to be a hypocrite?
Right. Well, he sounds like a royal dirtbag.
I was wrong about something.
Magnificent! Magnificent! Magnificent!
If we can be with ourselves, if we can understand ourselves, we can love.
It's not my fault nobody can understand what you're saying.
Let's go while we're young.
3, 2, 1. Just introduce yourself and tell me what you ate for breakfast.
Hey, good morning, Matt. No breakfast. How about sound? We have sound. We have everything. We got to focus on this morning. That is the theme, Misplaced Focus. We're going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about Donald Trump at the end, though, and hope you all enjoy that segment here. But get focus in on the comments during the show, approximately from now until about 6:40. It might be a little shorter than that because I've heard from you and you have said about 7-8 minutes max is kind of the golden spot for you at this time of the morning, and get our day going and talk about some of these things that are of interest to many people. So get your hashtag in there. Here, let me put it in there just so you can see it in the comments real quick. And then again, we're going to talk about Donald Trump at the end here, and some of that I find I'm going to have fun with it. Let's just say that. All right. So hey, also, I know that there's a few giveaways yet that I need to send out. And that's part of one of the reasons why I decided to dig into this focus thing and misplaced focus thing today is this. I had laid out my whole focus and plan for Shiny Brand that included, I won't get into all the details, not that the details are, private or whatever. They're not, but it's just they're details. They're not fun. And so the point being is I had laid out this whole plan, step 1, step 2, step 3. You have the idea. And, the step 1 essentially just did not come to fruition, which was a very big launching part of the whole system, or whatever you want to say, that I had kind of set up. And so in the meantime, I kind of realized that I sort of misplaced my focus. Not that I didn't have it. It wasn't lost, but it was misplaced. So let's get into that on this wonderful Monday morning. So imagine this: you're working with a company, or let's even put it like this. You have a company, you have a business, and you work with an independent contractor, a agency, or some other business that you're not partners with, but you're doing business with them, and they're essential to you and you're essential to them, right? And so, but you're the lead, you're the head of this business, and you're the one that is making some of the final decisions and hiring these agencies or contractors. Well, let's say that for 1 year that this agency made $200,000 from the business dealings that you did with them, right? So they made $200,000 in that year. Now you're starting the next year, you're saying, hey, we're going to go for it. We have this thing figured out. We're into the first quarter now. We're ending into the first quarter, and things aren't going very well. And you're the lead. You have to bail. You have to get out of this thing before it goes gets even worse, goes further south, things like that. And so what happens is when you pull out, you lose money and they lose money. Let's say they lost $2,000, $2,000. Well, what is misplaced? Misplaced, a definition as an adjective, is incorrectly positioned, right? Like when you can't find your phone or your keys or your money, or insert whatever you lost here, you've misplaced them. They're not gone. They're not lost. They're just incorrectly positioned. You didn't put them in the place you normally put them in, and things like that, right? So that's misplaced. It's not lost. Now, let's say this company is just hounding you and going after you, and you owe me $2,000 and we're going to sue you and we're going to do this and we're going to do that. Well, their focus is misplaced. It's incorrectly positioned, because while in one quarter they lost $2,000, in 1 year they made $200,000. So if you focus on that $200,000 instead of the $2,000, you have a very, very different thing and a very different mindset. Now, you've misplaced your focus if you're focusing on 2,000. In business, it sucks to lose money, but it does happen. It's part of it. When you're a small business owner or a big business owner or a medium business owner, you lose money. It just is part of it. It's unfortunate. It's part of it. And then there's also people along the way too that also lose out on it. And it sucks. It's part of it, and so on. But when you have placed your focus on the negative, the small part of the negative, your focus is misplaced. What is lost besides the TV show? It means that you no longer possess it. So you still have focus. It's not lost. It's just misplaced. It's just inappropriately positioned. So that was kind of where I was at on this. My focus, I just kept grinding on this one thing and literally sent hundreds and hundreds of emails out to, just because I was focused on this one thing, and it just simply was not coming to fruition as I had planned and I had hoped. And I'm not saying that's bad or good or anything. That's just a fact. And so then I just kept focusing on that. So my focus was essentially incorrectly positioned. I just kept at it. So here's the thing. You have to recognize if you're lost or misplaced in your focus. Let me say that again. You have to recognize at some point if you're lost or misplaced in your focus. And that involves self-reflection. I talk a lot about self-reflection here, and you have to, look at and essentially identify different behaviors or different traits that may be toxic in yourself. And that can determine whether your focus is misplaced or it's lost. And I just want to run through signs of toxic behaviors is you take everything personally is one of them. Maybe you're being overly judgmental on other things. You're avoiding certain discussions that would possibly make you look like you're in the wrong or whatever. And you're just completely and 100% avoiding those things. You're focusing on the problem rather than a solution. And that's really easy to do. So those are just some things that are ways to identify in yourself if you have a toxic, behavior that you need to look at and find out if you're just lost or you've just incorrectly positioned your focus, and just acknowledge that behavior. Now I'm going to talk about Donald Trump and this misplaced and lost thing. Donald Trump haters are really starting to I won't say but I'm starting to like the guy, right? Because let's take one of the things most recently, the blue suit at the Vatican for the funeral. Well, if you haven't seen it yet, there's a whole bunch of people posting and a whole bunch of media focused in on Donald Trump in a blue suit. Well, I think we all know that Donald Trump in his blue suit, it's kind of his thing, right? And they say that Donald Trump was asked, and all attendees were asked to wear a black suit to the funeral. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. I don't care. But the problem is when you zoom out on this photo that everybody's showing and everybody's hating on the blue suit for Donald Trump, you're going to find people, from the British courts, royalty, let's say from Britain, and they're wearing blue suits. A lot of people are wearing blue suits. Your focus is lost at that point. It's not misplaced anymore. And that's kind of what I mean. we have all these things that as soon as you zoom in and you hate on something that is disinformation, that you know it's not true information, you're lost. That's one way to identify it. And I try not to get lost. I am misplaced, but I always seem to find my way home. And I hope that you can too. So let's give away a t-shirt. Now that I've gone over this whole 10-minute thing. So here we go. Let's roll it. I got a note. Congratulations, Bonnie. I got a note. Here it looks like on one of the things that I need to focus on being more entertaining. Well, that's a good segue, actually. Check out the website like every day this week. There's going to be new things, probably some small things certain days, but there's going to be new things every day. And one of the next phases in Shiny Brand is more and different content as well. And so now that I've found my misplaced focus, I'm gearing up for those things and have done. I've talked about it too. There's been an enormous amount of behind the scenes different infrastructure being built and things for Shiny Brand, and we're heading in that direction in very big and fast ways. And so thanks for coming along for the ride. Thanks for your support. Thanks for your encouragement. Appreciate all the cheerleaders and things out there too, and your messages from last week that you missed Thursday and Friday, and it's just part of the 4 R's, refocus. And so that's where I'm at right now. And so we will see you tomorrow morning at 6:30 a.m. Central Daylight Time. Have a great Monday.
You know what I just saw?
Who is this guy?
I call myself Podcast because of my podcast.
I have exorcised the demons. This house is clear.
So it's done. It's done.